asking if I indeed was a comedian. So I assume that even now, all these years later, has that largely been the case, or what's the scorecard now with the family and maybe the more immediate family?
One cousin, she came and visited me for about a week, about 4 or 5 years ago, and she adopted a vegan diet. I gave her my favorite resources at the time, and she has lost a tremendous amount of weight. She looks great. Some of her relatives, she said, were complaining that she was too thin, and as I pointed out to her, that in our culture, we're used to seeing 300-pound people at the beach. That is our norm. When you go to other cultures of the world where they don't have access to meat and dairy, and their weights are much lighter, and they don't have our diseases at all until they adopt a Western diet, their weights are what I would consider to be more normal. And many of the doctors who have either I've worked with over the years, or they've written cover endorsements for my book, like Dr. Neil Barnard and T. Colin Campbell, also write about this in their books too, that what we consider to be normal in this country is somewhat skewed. Another thing I wanted to mention, you asked why I took this focus. I'll tell you why. The real reason is that when I worked as long as I did in television news, the only time PETA or animal rights groups got coverage was when they did something crazy, outrageous, like take off their clothes or, block traffic somewhere. And I really felt it was important to take this more mainstream approach. I think more people are willing to listen to, hey, it saves you a lot of money. Everybody cares about what's in their wallet. And it can save your life as well.
Cool. Well, so just to follow up though, because I just think it's interesting in a few ways that some members, obviously of your immediate family, haven't embraced the vegan diet life. So it's been such a pivotal part of your life, and the reasons that you made that change. So given that the impetus really was, hey, I want to stay healthy, I want to beat the odds of my immediate family and others, and what are your thoughts on, for example, your daughters not following suit, not the myth like, hey, I'm an expert and how come you're not following, but just concerned as a mom that they're not kind of following suit?
Well, that's really a whole other story as far as my kids go, and I'll get back there. But with Dr. Barnard and a number of other doctors who have written books, it's interesting, especially Dr. Barnard makes a big deal about how he was the youngest of 3 boys. I'm the youngest of 3 girls, and there's a 9 and 11-year age difference. So my kids are the age of my sister's kids, grandkids. So it's really a whole different way, and I just learned that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Mm-hmm. And I just try to live my life by example. My kids are still relatively young. I am hopeful. But again, I also came out of a divorce situation, and food, as it often is, even in healthy families, was very much a political football and was an issue. And so without going there too much, just suffice it to say, I am hopeful that, they still have another 10 years before they reach full adulthood, and they'll think, wow, this is kind of cool. Maybe Mom was right about one or two things.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's see. There's someone here. Hi, you're on Talking Animals. A question.